This video is about three things. Number one, learning, development, improving, striving, moving forward. Number two is how to get free entry to Cypher in June. And number three is my poor memory. Number three is the fact that we're moving around venues in June. And there is a fourth thing, which is that our ticket prices are going up a little bit. So first of all, rest in peace to the great saxophonist Sonny Rollins. Passed away recently, one of the last remaining great jazz legends, and the last remaining great jazz bebop legend. Now there's this question that comes up of like, how do you define what a great jazz legend is? It's a difficult question. I'd say that if you've got a black and white photo of yourself in a real book, you qualify as a jazz legend. The way Sonny influenced me was his general approach to playing, which I feel was very oriented around thematic variation, theme and variation. His solo saxophone playing, if you ever saw him in a live show, he would take these extended cadenzas, not cadenzas really, just tunes. He would just play this whole improvised solo saxophone set that was very engaging. The fact that he was always searching something new. If you look at, from the bebop era to today, all the different changes sonically, musically, in terms of what he was searching for, what he was playing, it's extensive. One of my favorite Sonny Rollins albums, which is also a very controversial Sonny Rollins album, which is Sonny Meets Hawk. His playing on that is definitely very different from a lot of other things he's been recorded doing. The fact that it is a very controversial recording, that there are people who love it, people that hate it, or think that he sounds like crap, or think people like me who thinks he sounds amazing. I think it's all part of his search for something new. That is something people can agree on. Whether they like what he did or not is a different question. And of course, in terms of saxophone playing, in terms of jazz, music, musical language, jazz language, I learned a ton from Sonny. And part of language is idioms, idiomatic phrases, repertoire is a huge part of that. And this brings me to Cypher. So as you know, we post Cypher repertoire every single week. And part of the reason for this is to learn hip hop language. There are many different subgenres, many different styles, many different branches of the family tree. And we're trying to always represent a couple of different branches in our choices of repertoire. And in particular, we're going to start choosing a few classics that we kind of, we've been doing this for 12 years. So for some of us, we're like, we don't need to put this song or whatever in the repertoire. We've done it many times. But you know what? In the house band itself, in the Cypher X band itself, there is a generational change that is happening in terms of, I turned 50, we have young 20-year-olds as well in the group. So there's the whole gamut of age ranges and amount of time people have spent in Cypher, whether they went through that period where we played a lot of classic tunes or did not. But the point is, there's some people who have less knowledge, both in the Cypher crew as well as people coming to jam. And we want to make sure that we don't lose some of the essential history in terms of knowledge of hip hop and familiarity with that whole culture and language. On that subject of generational shifts, last night we had Teacup in the house band, and he's one of the OGs of Cypher. I met him back in the community days when he came to workshops. I remember so much of Teacup coming to those sessions. And at first, so actually, for context, first of all, if you don't know Teacup, he's a frickin' killer drummer. A lot of players look up to him. And I'll mention last night, Shane was there, Shane on drums. And I went up to him and asked him, are you here just to hang, or are you also here specifically for Teacup? And he said, absolutely, a little bit of both, because, we don't get to see Teacup that much anymore. He still comes when he can, and we love it, but life has taken us all in different directions. The week before that, we had Cynical in the house band, and Shem was there, and Shem was just hanging out in the back and watching. And again, a thing where there's this killer performer who used to be able to catch, 1, 2, 3 times a month at Cypher. And now life has taken them in different places and we don't see them quite as often. But when we do, We go and we learn and we watch. Now that said, if you missed those performances, there's a couple of ways of still learning from, in this case, those who've established the cipher sound. One way is to go on Bandcamp, and we have numerous house band sets up there available for free streaming, or you can download them, name your price, and then stream them at any time, no restrictions, whatever. On top of that, the entire jam sessions, not just the house band set, are on YouTube. Last week's May 21st house band set and jam session are both on YouTube and Bandcamp. If you jammed and you want to review what you did, obviously this is a great resource for that. You can jam along with tracks that you were not on, you know. If in the moment somebody did something that you didn't quite catch, you can listen back. You can listen back and find it and figure out what that thing was and be like, oh, okay, so that's what I could recognize the sound, but I didn't know what it was. Now you can figure out what it is. Or sometimes in the moment, the excitement, you think, man, I did such a great job. And then you listen back and you're like, oof, okay, this was not so great. So there's always a disconnect. And sometimes you think you did terribly and you check it out and it's like, hey, this was fine. So it's just a good sort of reference point to see, like, you know, what happened there. For those who know Nick Pura, great bass player, apparently the first time that I booked him for Cypher, he pulled up the YouTube archives and just started playing along. That was his prep for the gig. He's like, I'm gonna play as much as I can, listen as much as I can, get into that head space, that sonic space to be ready for the thing. So anyway, these are all great ways to learn. There's a couple of resources as well outside of the Cypher itself. First of all, there's the workshops that we do for the summer. We're gonna be every Tuesday at the Bibliothèque Nationale, 6 to 9 p.m. Free workshop. We talk about really the nuts and bolts of music. So focusing really a lot on harmony right now. So chords, you know, what are the notes? And in my favorite chord, the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. How do you notate, you know, certain rhythms? If I sing a rhythm, let's try to notate it. All that kind of stuff is stuff that we do at the workshops. Come check them out for free. And then on Patreon, this is not on our free tier. 90% of the content on Patreon is free. However, we do have, for example, charts of the repertoire that I think are at either the $2 or $10 level, something like that. I think it's the $10 level. And also I did not post the charts from last night, mostly because I didn't make a chart for Yeba. But I'll post I'll post the other one. I'll post the chart from Nas, The World Is Yours. So there's always going to be some content up there. And hey, if you want to subscribe, get the $10 thing and just download all the charts and then unsubscribe, go for it. $10 for a bunch of charts, hey, why not? Those charts are sort of reference charts in the sense that they've got notes and rhythms. Most of the charts, for example, don't have drum parts notated. Most of the charts have very limited articulation. When David Osei makes a chart, he puts in like what synth pad to use, how much square wave to use, all this kind of thing. So I don't go that far. For me, it's like you still learn by listening, and the chart is just like the bullet point. Oh yeah, that's the melody, rhythm melody. I remember what it sounds like. I just needed that little reminder. What's the BPM? It's this. Okay, that's really what it is for me. And speaking of Patreon, that ties us into how to get in for free at Cypher in June. We are still pushing Patreon for many reasons. One is that the social media landscape is hell, and we're trying to sort of get out of that, but still reach the people that want to know about us. And for the month of June, as a way of promoting the Patreon even more, we will be giving guest list free entry to people who comment on Patreon. Now, technically, we're not allowed to pick comments at random. That goes against Patreon's terms of service. So it is, quote unquote, the best comments that will win a guest list. Perhaps the quality of the comment will also be based on how many likes of things that you have made. I don't know. It is entirely subjective, but that is how Patreon requires us to do it to not break their terms of service. So leave us a comment. Perhaps if you leave a like, that'll also improve your chances. Who knows? Who knows? Also, Patreon gets everything first. You would have already known that the YouTube and the Bandcamp have been updated. If you're on Patreon, you've gotten last week's photos. If you're on Patreon, it all goes up there first. And you know what? I haven't done this, but thank you to the people who have subscribed, and also the people who have subscribed to the non-free tiers. For those keeping track of how these things go, we have 2 subscribers at the top tier, which gives them free access to Cypher. Not free because they are paying a monthly fee, but it helps us a lot, and it really is a a great indication that we're kind of going in the right direction. And we have a couple of other subscribers on other tiers. No matter what you give us, it is hugely appreciated. If you just sign up for free, it's totally fine. All of these things are hugely appreciated. Let us know if there's things you don't like about Patreon. We're still kind of working it out, trying to make sure that everything that you can get elsewhere is also available here. So let us know if there's some lack of clarity or whatever's missing, let us know. Or whatever sucks, let us know. In fact, there's a post asking exactly that. You can leave us a comment there and win guest list for June. Speaking of June, we're moving around. The Fringe Festival is taking over Au Patrovis for 2 weeks. So June 11th, we're at Le Belmont. And for those who know the history of Cypher, that is where we got started 12 years ago. So it's going to be quite fun to go back there. And then the 18th, we're at La Sotterranea, which is in the basement of Sala Rossa. Another great venue for those who have checked it out. It has a really nice vibe. I think they have a pool table as well. I really like Sotterranea. So our cover charge is going up a little bit in June. It's partly because of all the switching around, different venues, different expenses involved. But we know how expensive everything is. I still want to make this event as accessible as it can be. For June, the discounted, the early bird, student, and Patreon discount price is staying the same. Yay! But the other prices are going to be going up. So yeah, keep learning, keep improving, keep striving forward. We always look back at the Masters to figure out the future. We're definitely going to be paying tribute to Sonny Rollins. He has been extensively sampled in hip hop, maybe also taking some of his tunes and reworking them as hip hop tunes. And speaking of influences, one of our big influences is the legendary The Lesson, which is now The Lesson GK. Used to be based out in New York, and they ran a live band hip-hop jam session at Arlene's Grocery. So The Lesson GK, GK stands for Genti Kaijo, which is the original name of the house band. And Genti Kaijo means removing all limits, forever learning. That's kind of the idea of it. Another full circle thing, so one of the jam session repertoire tracks was a Yebba track. Back when I discovered The Lesson, I started watching their Instagram stories every single week try to get a little taste of what was going on over there. And I remember one week, this singer comes up and I'm like, who the hell is this? Holy shit, like incredible singer. And that was Yebba. So yeah, this was way before Yebba became Yebba. These are all part of our influences. So The Lesson was part of Yebba's influence. Yebba has influenced us. We've been influenced by The Lesson. Learn from the greats. Check out the LabX workshops on Tuesdays. Got the charts. We've got the references on the YouTube, on the YouTube. Oh my God, I really am a freaking boomer. But go check out all those resources, learn, get better, and we'll see you at the next Cypher. Peace. That's way too long. 23 minutes. Okay.